Hey, everybody. Welcome to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host, Robert Perry Cruz, and with me, as always, are my fabulous co-hosts.
It's Jackie with the dirty hair.
And it's me, Diana. Hi.
She's got clean hair.
Today I do.
I had to turn my mic, everyone. My mic needs to be turned.
Cut that out. We don't need that. This is your monthly podcast. I forget how to introduce these special preview episodes. Usually on ABA Inside Track, we pick a topic, we discuss relevant research articles, but at the start of every month or the end of every month, if you are a subscriber on our Patreon page, you get a little preview where we talk about what's coming up in the month and just some other fun stuff that we like to chat about. And so this is our June 2024 preview. So it's summertime. We're going to be starting our summertime episodes with so many exciting things coming up. We got the Summer of Book Club continuing. We have a special guest July coming up. But for June, we're going to be featuring a few exciting episodes. So let's talk about what those are going to be.
Alrighty. So yeah, in June we were doing a couple like different kind of things, actually. Two things we haven't really done before.
We're all over the place this June.
For sure. So for one of our June episodes, we have two authors who are going to join us to discuss a book that they have coming out. And we're going to talk with them. And then we're going to also talk amongst ourselves in order for it to be a book club. But it's coming out now for everybody, correct?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and so...
That's why it's the Summer of Book Club and not the summer in which we did a couple book clubs, but don't worry about it unless you're on the Patreon. This one's going to be for everyone.
Yeah, I love that. So these are authors you may potentially have heard of before. It will be Linda LeBlanc and Amanda Karsten who are joining us to talk about their book, Ethics, Proactive and Practical Decision-Making for Behavior Analysts. It's new this year, and we all read it. And we're excited to talk about it with the authors.
Very excited. I also love the title. Not the title. I mean, the title's fine, but I like the...
Geez, some hot takes already.
The cover art is like very Robert Frosty.
That's right.
Because it's got two paths. Sylvie told me, my child told me that there is a person hiding behind the trees.
Oh, no.
And whatever path you take, they jump out at you.
Will we learn from
Classic.
Dr. LeBlanc and Dr. Karsten that it's not ethical to jump out at people wandering the woods? Perhaps. I don't remember that in there, but, it's been a little while since I read it. Maybe I missed that chapter.
It's a metaphor. Next up, we're going to talk about storytelling. This was Rob's suggestion.
A good one.
It was good.
Thank you.
So we have 3 articles that we will discuss in the context of discussing storytelling. They are an emotional appeal for the development of empirical research on narrative by Critchfield and published in Perspectives on Behavior Science 2018. Also, Rethinking Dissemination, Storytelling as Part of the Repertoire by Ronnie Dietrich. That was also published in Perspectives in Behavioral Science 2018. And Narrative, Why It's Important and How It Works. That was written by Phil Heinlein, also published in Perspectives in Behavioral Science, also in 2018. Yum, 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 says
Delicious,
Rob.
yeah.
Delicious storytelling episodes. And then finally, to round out June, again, something that we haven't really done before is we're going to have multiple people come on the show. And we're going to do a little bit of a panel discussion, I would say. So if you think back to episode... Oh, no, have I actually forgotten the number of the episode?
It's been a long day. We all went hiking earlier.
Yes, we just returned from a hike.
Usually I'm so on top of knowing the numbers, and now I can't actually find it. Anyway, it was our discussion on neurodiversity episode.
Let's say number 7.
It definitely
I know
wasn't
it's
number
not number
7. Oh, it was 268. I found it finally. Okay, so not that long ago, we had a discussion on neurodiversity just among the 3 of us. And then we said, this is just the beginning part of this. We're going to ensure that we have a continued discussion with other people joining us. So in the month of June, we will be joined by 3 guests who all have familiarity in the working in the field of ABA and also are autistic individuals. We are joined by Alex Astrella, Brian Middleton, and Michelle LaFrance. very excited for that discussion. We get to hear from them and each of their perspectives.
And the greatest thing is when we said, hey, we would love to find someone to be on the show. These are the 3 that answered.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right? So we said, hey, and they're like, hey. And we're like, cool.
We didn't even email them. We just said it out loud and they just gave us a call right away.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. Like that little guy from the Flintstones,
The Great Gazoo?
Yeah.
Oh.
That guy. It's a topical reference for all the kids out there.
I don't think it was a topical reference for the conversation we're currently having. But okay.
All right. That's what we're doing in June.
Oh boy, it's a big June, and summer continues rolling on because like we mentioned, this is the summer of book clubs. So we've had a book club every month starting in April. Our ethics book club with Dr. LeBlanc and Dr. Karsten will be our June episode. And then we've got an episode's coming out in July. We're going to talk about Dr. Fryman's book on sleep. Oh boy, we just never get stopping with the book club. So if you have not joined the Patreon, this is a perfect time to do so because you can get CEs for being a subscriber at the $10 level and you get access to everything early. And then we'll be replaying some of our episodes from one of our episodes on Walden 2 from last year. So we've got more book clubs to come. And then finally, we'll wrap everything up with Supervision September. So it's not even summer book clubs. It's like the late spring to early fall of book clubs with summer in between. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not actually tired of reading all these books yet. I really thought I was going to be by now, but I'm forging ahead. I'm having a lot of fun. We picked some good long ones, some good short ones, a good variety. I'm very excited about that.
I was going to say, it's a good mix.
Yeah. Too many long books, and it is not so fun. All right, so those are episodes coming out. Let's see, what else do we have coming up this June?
Okay, so in July, we are going to the Compassionate Care Conference in Utica, New York, July 18th and 19th. And that is put on by Upstate Caring Partners. And so pretty excited that we're going to go. It's in good old Utica. There's CEUs 12, breakfast and lunch, coffee, and a charcuterie board
Oh,
on day 1.
fancy.
Yeah.
We're going to do trivia.
We're going to do trivia there.
Yeah. It's a good time for anyone who was with us at the Babbitt.
Mm-hmm.
The Babbitt, as people like to call
The
it.
Babbitt.
Full disclosure, if you did Babbitt trivia, there will be some repeating questions. It's hard to think of another like 60 to 70 questions
But
every
some
time.
new questions too.
Some classics, some new ones, some oldies.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. And then happening basically simultaneously is the BABA conference, which is
Right.
this year now in Baltimore. And it is virtually the same dates. It's like the 19th and 20th, I think, instead of the 18th and 19th.
We won't be there this
I
time,
know. So we
which is
can't do
sad.
that one, which is sad. But it's a fantastic conference if anyone wants to check that one out too.
Yeah, I love that. And in July, I'm just going to give some July previews so that people get excited. We've got our book club. We've got July is going to be our guest month.
Yeah.
So every single week in July, we will have a guest. But I'm not going to tell you who yet because you have to
No,
listen
not
to
yet.
the July
Save that.
episode,
Save
right?
it for July.
But that's pretty fun
Very exciting.
because it's a long month.
Excellent.
Yeah. And we have a little more flexibility in the summertime to be able to host more guests. So we're very excited.
Summertime.
All right. Well, now that we have all that squared away, let's move into errata. It's a section of the show where we go over anything we missed or any sort of other random little tidbits. And I had a little fun tidbit. Summer of Book Club has started early, and I've been very interested in reading books, and we got stuck in some traffic on the way back from a wedding and rain. So I was able to finish a book that is not ABA related, but I do think all the research and the special guests and the discussions we've had on the show actually made it a better book because of the podcast. It's called Ghostland by Colin Dickey, and it's from 2016. And I originally bought it because I thought it was going to be like one of those books where you're like, whoa, there's a haunted bar in your neighborhood, or this library is haunted. Why is it haunted? And if you've ever read those, they're kind of always the same book of like, there's a ghost and everyone says it's this ghost, but there's no reason to think it's this ghost because that person never died in this space. They're just a ghost that randomly showed up here one day, and people say that it's cold sometimes. And you sort of read those stories and they're not very exciting. So I kind of thought this was going to be one of those, but it really was a nice discussion of the idea of ghosts as it's kind of a, not to be too mentalistic about it, but sort of as a human phenomenon, of sort of a sense-making exercise. And a lot of it did have to do with how many ghosts in a lot of cities are sort of commodified from the suffering of minority groups and from folks who'd been disenfranchised historically. And so really thinking about a lot of the discussions we've had on that topic on the show, it really made the book central conceit pop a lot more for me, because it's something that I know years and years before we started the podcast, I, as a white cis man, could sort of ignore that was a problem or sort of just be like, it's not that big a deal because I never see it, right? And doing the show has made me so much more aware of how dangerous and pernicious an attitude that is for anyone to have. And I'd like to say that, and everyone figured that out, but sadly, no, there's a huge proportion of Americans who probably still feel that same way that I used to feel, not trying to be mean or trying to do anything wrong, but just refusing to deal with uncomfortable situations. And I think this book really captures that. And so if you have a friend who likes ghosts and hauntings, but is refusing to accept that perhaps they have some privilege they want to check, this might be a good way to sort of shape up that repertoire of talking about historically disenfranchised groups and how people, it tend to be, the majority folks tend to profit off of their suffering in a lot of ways by making tourists about various slaves and the ghosts of the slaves in this area. And instead of it being a chance to say, reflect on what a horrible period in American history, we really need to keep bringing up how horrible this was and how, how the challenges continue to this day, rather than just sort of gloss it over as like, ooh, and ghosts, spooky, don't worry about it too much. Like, it's not an amusement. So I really enjoyed reading that book. And I think I appreciate it a lot more because of all of our time on the podcast. So just wanted to share and bring that up.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That was nice. If you have a friend who doesn't want the soft entry into that topic, but would rather just dive right into the deep end, then I recommend Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. It is really, really fantastic, and it parallels the caste structure in India with the racial oppression structure in the U.S. It's an excellent book.
Mm-hmm. Or read both if you like ghosts and you don't want to sugarcoat some of these discussions.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
I know our editor, shout out to our editor, Dan. I know he has in the past put reading rainbow sound effects on the episode, who he will mention sometimes. I don't know if we'll have time to do it for a preview.
Thanks,
but
Dan.
if he does. All right. And that's some of our readings other than our article readings, but let's hear from some listeners. What emails did we have?
I wanted to highlight 2 special emails that we received over the past month about episode 274, which was our public policy episode. And one of the authors, well, actually 2 authors emailed us, and one author...
and wrote on social media, too.
Yes, and wrote on social media. One author, Christy Ivanko, said, "Thank you for discussing our article. I can promise you that I have not once baked cookies or anything for any legislators. It's all above board, but I am a card-carrying lobbyist."
Nice.
Oh.
So we've got that answered.
Okay.
Right? Because
it's not like the hotel, it turns out.
I guess it's not like
Guess
the hotel.
not.
We did not say that in the episode, did we?
We 100%
did. It was
did.
pairings.
It was pairings.
We didn't think lobbyists were people who live in a hotel lobby.
No.
Only I thought that.
I thought, yes, that was funny. And the second email was from author Rebecca Thompson, and she wanted to thank us for spotlighting public policy. It's really close to her heart. And she said, "True confession. While I was working on the paper with my colleagues, I imagined it being featured on ABA Inside Track."
No.
So
That is the sweetest thing.
That is amazing.
she was really happy to be the gravy article of the week.
Nice.
So thanks, Rebecca, for writing in. That made us super happy.
And for writing great papers.
And for grading papers. And I also have to give a shout out to my friend, Dr. Ashley Williams, because when that came out, she said, "You didn't even tell anyone that we were friends on this episode." And I'm a little bit hurt.
Oh, no.
I said, "Ashley, no, we are friends."
Hey, Ashley.
Hey,
Sorry.
way to do public policy. But anyway.
That was good.
Yeah.
Public policy was... Oh, sorry, Diana. You go ahead.
Just going to say, a lot of interaction for that episode, which was really exciting. And it's a topic that doesn't get discussed much, which maybe is why everyone who was working on it was so excited that it got mentioned. So Anyone else who's got like unusual areas in the field, let us know.
It was definitely a topic that I think when we were preparing for it and we were getting ready to record, it had a feel of this is not for this is I don't know, is this for us? Are we going to have
I
a
didn't
good
have that
time?
feeling at all.
You didn't have that feeling. I had that feeling very strongly. But again, another nice thing, kind of having the show. One nice thing about knowing you have to record and you have to talk about these topics is it does force you to engage with material that might not be your area of expertise or area of interest. And I think through our discussion, really, learn new facets of behavior analysis that I never thought I would have to discuss. And I'm glad the episode came out well, and I'm glad people enjoyed listening to it, because at the end, as much as I want to say I had a terrible time and I hate public policy, I had a lot of fun talking about this. And I'm glad we have such public policy superstars out there. And it's nice to hear. So I will not be dismissive of public. I don't think I was dismissive on the episode, but I will not be so negative about public policy as a super hard thing. Although I still think it is not for me. But I will bake cookies. I don't know if you want my cookies because I'm not much of a baker, but I will bake cookies for our lobbyists. That's above board, I assume, right? You can give gifts to lobbyists. Lobbyists just can't give gifts to you, I think. I'm assuming that's the rule.
I don't know any rules.
Okay. Well, write in if you're for our lobbyist friends. Write in. Can we give you cookies? You just can't give politicians cookies, I'm guessing.
That makes sense.
I would think so, right? All right. Well, that's it. These are always pretty short, our preview episodes. We got a lot of things coming out. We got to get ready for our actual big full episode. So we'll have our first full one coming out very shortly. If you want to write in and be featured on Errata, please do so. You can certainly email us at abainsidetrack@gmail.com, or you can click any of our links or follow us anywhere on social media, or you can leave us a message on our YouTube page or on our Patreon page. And remember, if you do not want to miss a second of the summer book club, don't forget to subscribe on patreon.com/ABAinsidetrack and or subscribe on your favorite podcast player. So all of these episodes come right to your door. But you subscribe on Patreon, not only do you get discounts on CEs, some free CEs for our book clubs, you also get everything a week ahead of time. So you're in the know before everybody else. Isn't that fun? It's always fun to be in the know. Oh, and finally, I want to also say, great job, BACB, on your new logo design. I don't know if you noticed, I just updated our website with the new design on there. We had till I think the end of the year, but you know what? We were champing at the bit to get the new one right up there. It's kind of.
You mean chomping at the bit?
No, it's you're champing.
I know, we've had this conversation.
You're champing at it. It definitely, I think, follows a lot of logos, and there's like a smoothening to a lot of logos
it's a little
these days.
Simplified.
Yeah.
It used to look like there was like a globe in the background. That's gone, basically.
What's up with our culture now? We need everything to be smooth. All our logos to be smoother than they used to be. It's been a hard couple of years. We need some smooth logos to cheer us up.
That must be it.
That must be it. Anyway, it's a nice design, very slick, and you can see it featured on the BACB page. You can see it on our website as well, abainsidetrack.com. All right, we'll be back next week with with the first of our full-length June episodes. But until then, keep responding. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.